I come at this from a consumer perspective, and it's important to remember D-Block and the whole idea behind D-Block started as an idea of how to do both public safety and increase competition and get more spectrum out that consumers need all at the same time. And that this 10 megahertz was always going to be auctioned, and then the FCC had an idea. There was a proposal that we could have a public-private partnership, that these would be auctioned under rules that would promote competition by requiring the commercial license holder to lease this out. And we'd also increase the value to public safety by, one, getting the network built, and also getting them access to more spectrum by sharing the spectrum with the D-Block and the stuff that public safety already had. That experiment did not work. Don't want to discuss why. It's been discussed a lot. There was an Inspector General report about it. But it did not work. And the FCC, coming to this 2 years later in the National Broadband Plan, said, what are the goals we need to meet here? We want to make sure this network gets built. We want to make sure that public safety actually has a network. And we also want to make sure that there is enough spectrum out there for there to be robust competition. This was after the 700 megahertz auction. You may remember we all thought that might produce the third pipe into the home, but it didn't work out quite that way. And AT&T and Verizon, who are the dominant players in the wireless side, ended up winning a lot of the spectrum. So the FCC looked out and said, how do we get more of this really valuable spectrum out there for competition? How do we get more of it out there for consumers and make sure that public safety gets a network out of it? And they came up with, I think, the best possible solution that they could come up with in this situation, given their authority. They couldn't mandate that the money from an auction go to build a wireless network. That's still Congress's work. But what they said was, we will make more spectrum available for competition by auctioning the D-Block. We will ask Congress to make sure that the network gets funded by taking the money from that auction to fund the network. And we will make sure public safety has enough spectrum by requiring interoperability for the entire band. So instead of just sharing with the D-Block licensee, they'll in effect be able to share with all of the licensees in that band whenever they need that additional spectrum. The thing that is very puzzling here is why that should not be seen as enough. Because part of my problem is when you ask folks who are supporting the other proposals, well, what are you going to do if you gave this to public safety? How would you get the network built? Well, we'd lease it out. So, okay, we're already talking about sharing the spectrum again with the private sector. But why is it better that you're going to lease it out and try to come up with a sharing arrangement which didn't work the first time with just that 10 megahertz of additional spectrum, when we could auction that 10 megahertz of additional spectrum, get the network built, and still have all of the spectrum available that public safety will need when they need it from all of the commercial licensees. It seems to me that in these difficult times, we're often told that we have to make tough choices. And this is being, to some degree, portrayed as a choice between, do we want to auction the D-Block and have more competition, benefit to consumers from having more spectrum out there, or do we want it to go to public safety to make sure that public safety gets the spectrum it needs? But the real proposal that's on the table says, why don't we get the spectrum out there for consumers, get the network built, and make sure that through interoperability and what the FCC is already proposing, that public safety has all the spectrum that it needs. Why should we buy ourselves more difficult choices in a time when we've got plenty of them, when we have an easy choice right in front of us?